Assalamu alaikum. My name is Anisa Arshad. I am from Toba Texing and currently I am done with my master's in chemistry from the University of Agriculture, Faisalabad. And now I am actively looking for online tutoring opportunities. And for that, I am recording a demo class. So let's start. So in today's lecture, we will discuss about separation techniques. So what are the separation techniques? As you know, as a chemist, we are supposed to carry out a lot of reactions to get the products that we use in daily life. And we are in need to get the desired products from these reactions, basically. But the problem is when we perform a chemical reaction, we usually get a mixture of products. Like, for example, in this reaction, I am preparing an ester. Ester is usually a compound that we use as a fragrance in a lot of perfumes, and it is also used in the food industry. And and we are in need to synthesize it on industrial scale. But the thing is, when we try to synthesize it by mixing like alcohol and acid, any alcohol, any acid, that we choose according to the ester we are in need to synthesize. So, but whenever we combine an alcohol and acid together, we get ester and water. Like we get a mixture of products which are ester and water and not single ester. So now we are in need to separate that ester from the water. So how we will separate the water from the ester and we will get the pure product. So for that, first of all, we will look what are the properties of the esters which have been synthesized during the reaction. In this mixture, the ester usually appears in the form of precipitates. Almost 50% of the esters appear in the form of precipitates. So now we will look at the characteristics of these precipitates and just by looking at them, we will be able to find out that these precipitates are insoluble in water. So now we are getting a mixture of products in which one is completely insoluble in the solvent. So for that, we can use a technique named as filtration. So this is how we perform the filtration. We usually take a filtration flask and then we put a funnel on the top of it and then we put a filter paper inside the funnel and then we pour the reaction mixture in on the filter paper. What happens that solvent passes through the pores of the filter paper and the precipitates get set on the surface of the filter paper, and this is how we get separate. This is how we separate the product from the reaction mixture, the desired product. So in this reaction, we will use filtration, a very simple technique to separate the ester from the water. So now we will discuss another reaction. For example, in this reaction, you can see we are combining copper hydroxide with the sulfuric acid and we are getting copper sulfate plus H2O. So again, in this reaction, there is a mixture of two products, water and copper sulfate. Now, now the reaction, this is a little more complex. Like now, this copper sulfate is soluble in water. So now we cannot perform filtration because with the water, CuSO4 will also pass through the pores and we will not get anything on the top of the filter paper. So we are not able to separate this thing from the water by simple filtration. So now we will analyze the physical state of the copper sulfate and then we come to know that this copper sulfate is soluble at at high temperature or at moderate temperature in water, but when it goes to the lower temperature it gets insoluble. So for such kind of mixtures we use a technique which is we call as crystallization. So here comes how we perform crystallization. We simply take the reaction mixture and then we heat it for a little amount of time until almost half of the solvent is evaporated, and then we cool the mixture and then we place the mixture usually in a cold place or even in the refrigerator, most of the time in the refrigerator, so that cooling can happen, and after that the crystals appear and then we simply filter it and the water will pass through the pores of the filter paper, whereas the crystals will settle on the surface of the filter paper. And then we get, this is how we separate the product from the reaction mixture, desired product. So here we are discussing another mixture. Like we know seawater, we have been utilizing the seawater from a very long period of time to get the salt. And seawater is basically a mixture of a very high concentration of salt plus water. And the thing is, this salt is soluble within the water at all temperatures, at high temperatures and at lower temperature. So now we cannot use filtration, and also we cannot use crystallization to separate the salt from the water. So what technique we're gonna use? We will use simple evaporation technique. And this is how we collect the seawater in different patches in a field, and then we allow it to rest for some time under the sunlight, and then water evaporates, and after some time we get sea salt which will remain in the patch, and we will just collect it. So this is a very traditional way basically for evaporation. Of course, in labs we have the advanced techniques which allows us to perform the evaporation at very high rate, even just in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But this is a general or a traditional way of performing the evaporation. So this is so I've just discussed about three evaporation techniques, or three, sorry, separation techniques in this lecture. And so we have come to the conclusion that if the product, if we know in our reaction mixture with the product, the desired product is insoluble in water at all temperatures, at high temperatures and low temperatures, then we can simply use filtration to separate it from the reaction mixture. And if we get the product which is insoluble in solvent at lower temperatures, like it is soluble at high temperatures but it becomes insoluble at lower temperature, then we will use the technique of crystallization. And if the product is soluble, what, like for example salt, it was soluble in water at all temperatures, then we cannot separate it by lowering the temperature even, so we will simply evaporate the solvent. Okay. We can use evaporation of solvent in on other above techniques, like but evaporation usually takes a lot of time, and sometimes even it damages the crystals, so that's why we usually do not prefer it until we have the availability to use the other techniques. That's why we have developed the techniques of filtration and crystallization, which are to deal with the little delicate products. So this is how we separate, and all the techniques I have discussed here are to separate a solid from a liquid. There are multiple other techniques which are of course available to separate the liquid from liquid, and of course to separate the gases from the liquid and all other stuff. So, but this is all about separating liquid from liquid. So just to check how much you have understand about it, here is a little quiz. Like we have a mixture of bismuth ferrite plus water. It usually comes out a reaction mixture when we try to synthesize bismuth ferrite. And you have to tell which technique we can use to separate bismuth ferrite from the water. And the thing is, bismuth ferrite is insoluble in water. So you have 1 minute to decide. Just decide, and I'll tell the answer. So the answer is filtration, because bismuth ferrite is insoluble and we can simply filter it and the water will go down in the filtration funnel, but in the filtration flask, sorry, and the precipitates of the bismuth ferrite will set on the top of the filter paper. And here is another quiz, like which of the following is an example of evaporation separation in daily life, which means that which product we simply use in our daily life, and that comes from the simple evaporation separation. So here are the options, like rusting of iron, formation of salt from seawater, evaporation of water, freezing of ice. So the second option is correct, that formation of salt from seawater is the product that we use in our daily life, and we have been using for decades. And so this is something which comes from the simple evaporation. Although now more techniques are available, but this was a traditional method which we used to use earlier, and even this is now used to separate the salt from the sea. So this is all about today's class, today's lecture, and I hope you will understand these concepts and will be able to implement that. So thank you so much for your time, and goodbye.